Hello there, Flameborn, and welcome back to Enshrouded. Today, a little update on the little starter base that I've been working on for me and my friends. And of course, last time I built this main Hobbit hole, and I showed you how to build this as well if you wanted to follow along. In the meantime, I've been decorating the surrounding areas a little bit. I've added a little goat pen here for our lovely goat friends. I've started laying down some paths, and I've made the newest addition, the Hunter's Cabin, which is a very small and cozy hobbit hole, as you can see, with a little garden, mostly for the hunter-related activities. And we have a pathway leading from the one hobbit hole to the other hobbit hole. And we have now a big farm field out here as well. I've actually used some of these entrances, but then dug a hole before I placed them to make them a little bit lower, so they fit a little bit better here in the Hobbit vibe village. And this is quite a big farmland. It's on a slope, but I think it still should work, and it's quite fun here in the hilly forest side that we've decided to call home. And it's really starting to feel like something nice now. We've got this little area right here with the farm field. We've got, of course, the main hobbit hole. That actually, the new idea is that it's actually quite a big hill and it doesn't go back that far yet. I think this is going to be a big hobbit hole with many different entrances and little builds all around the big hill. And then on the inside, we're actually going to connect those hallways so that we can easily go back and forth from different professions. Because right now, we kind of have this room of shame back here for the NPCs that do not have a room yet. I've decided to give this little hobbit hole to the farmer, so she lives here now. Still needs more decoration in here, definitely, as we start unlocking things. But yeah, I've cleared out the front garden. Definitely need some plants in here to showcase that this is now the farmer's house. And yeah, we have a lovely pathway leading to the farm. We also have a pathway going to a different entrance for the farm right down here. Might add some more farmland on this side if we need it, or some more pens for other creatures once we start taming more of those, because we got a decent amount of space here definitely still to utilize, and some cool views from our surrounding areas, which is quite nice as well. And yeah, slowly decorating the place with some of these items that we can now craft and we've started to unlock. Really love this lovely area, of course, with the goats, brings us in a lot of life. I finally managed to make the overgrowth tool as well, so we've added a few vines around here to make it even nicer and greener. So we've also done that over here. A little bit of the overgrowth I really like. And then, of course, we've got the latest addition, the Hunter's Cabin. Quite happy with this one. So I've used the new wood that we unlocked, flintstone at the bottom still, the flower soil for a lot of the hill, and of course some of the existing pieces like these logs. Got a window here on the side as well, which I really like. Little garden area that we might decorate for like the hunter's purposes. And there is now a new tree that should be growing on top of here, because I had to remove the old one, or I kind of did it accidentally. But yeah, and we have a chimney as well. I still need to place some flame in there to make it a little bit more alive. But yeah, we got a lovely little hill. So this hill was there, and I kind of built in front of it to connect to it. Very small little cabin, so it's not that big, but it's very cozy, I feel like. I like the overgrowth feel for this one specifically because it's the hunter, closer to nature, so it's very small and cozy. So we got a little bed, bedside table, little washer here. We've got some storage. Then we got the spindle in here. We got some of the trophy mounts as well, which really help feel more alive in here. Like we have the one head and the other one. I can't remember all the names. And we have a lovely little table here to sit and dine with the hunter as well. So it's very cozy, not too big, but I kind of like that for the hunter. I tried to make basically the Hobbit equivalent of a hunter's hut. And I think that definitely worked out quite well this way. So it's very tiny, but again, this is supposed to be a starter base. This is early on, and as you can see, we're using the things that we unlock very early on. So this was very early materials. This is one of the newer materials now that we've unlocked the carpenter's saw, so we can make these lovely wooden pieces with all the details in them. We actually also have the same variant, but then with brick, which is quite cool. So we definitely have some options now to start building. So I will definitely be slowly but surely progressing and adding new builds. So if you've got suggestions or ideas that I should add here, please let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to build this little lovely cozy hunter's cabin hobbit hole, I've got good news. I've recorded it. So yeah, let's jump into that. But of course, if you enjoy these builds and you want to see more, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, like the video. That really helps me out a lot as we get started and continue our amazing Enshrouded adventures. So, yeah, there we go. Let's go into build mode. All right, let's start a new Hobbit hole. We're going to start with, I think, 2 foundations wide. Seems big enough to me, I think. Because I want it to be a nice, like, cozy hunter cabin feeling. Okay, so that gives us a little bit more space to work with on the inside, because we definitely need a little bit more. So then, now it's a 2x2, I guess. It might get a little bit bigger. We'll have the door, of course, for the scale of the Hobbit hole, so we kind of know what we're working with. That seems alright. I seem to not have unlocked any new doors yet, so we're using the simple wooden one, but that's fine. It's a little hunter's cabin anyway. I think for this one, I probably would have preferred this one anyway. So I'm going to use these half-timbered blocks for this build. We just unlocked those, so I feel like that is a good vibe for a little cabin. And we'll just start building these up. We probably want to go at like too high above the doorway if we can manage to get that. I must say it's so much better being able to build in first person. Like when I played this last year, that wasn't an option yet, but it's so much better. All right, we'll slowly build our doorway all the way around. A lovely round door. I love the way these beams form in the textures. It's so good. Okay, I think if I get up here, we should be able to kind of make a little ledge, because, yeah, we definitely need it too high above the door, and then we can, I guess, start working on shaping out the Hobbit hole shape, like the rounded shape of the front of the build. We want this to be relatively small, and it's not going to be symmetrical on both sides. It's going to be, yeah, nice flowing shape. Of course, it will change a little bit once we do the landscaping as well, but yeah, I think we'll start with something like this. Just basically rounding it down, which means we get a little bit more space on this side, but not too much, and I don't think we need that much space. This should definitely be enough. Yeah, I think that works, because the wall's going to be on the outside. Yeah, that works. That works, because we can have the outer wall on that little ledge. We get extra. There we go. That place. I think that's fine. We need to clear out a little bit of these rocks and this landscaping, but that's all part of building Hobbit holes. You know, clearing out some landscape, adding some landscape. It's all big part of the circle of Hobbit hole life. But there we go. We clear this out, and then we can start this side. We can, yeah, we want to have a little layer of the flintstone in front of it. I really like that from the last build, so I'm bringing that back for this one as well. So basically we have like a little wall in front of it, like along the edge of the build, which just adds a little bit of depth because there's 2 layers in the walls. It adds a little bit of sturdiness, which is really good. And yeah, I think that's just a really, really fun touch to it all. So we'll probably make this like too high that it's actually visible. Just like this. And I love the texture of the flintstones as well. I feel like it fits, especially for these like more primitive buildings. It's really, really good. So there we go. We will do them like this all the way through. And then somewhere on this side, we definitely want to add in a window as well. Because of course, we want to be able to get some natural light in to the Hobbit hole. There we go. So we can continue the wall over here, of course, on the inside too. And then we need to figure out where we kind of want to add that window in. Some lovely round windows. There we go. Over there. Yeah, that feels alright. And then, of course, we can continue the wall all the way around it as well. That should work without too many issues. There we go. Let's see. We'll just round off the shape again, just as we did on the other side. It doesn't have to be the same kind of shape as the other one, because as I said, it's not symmetrical. Also, the door is not in the middle of the hole. Kind of just want to get a shape that we like. That is really all we want. But that feels pretty good. That feels pretty nice. Like that feels like a little cabin front for a Hobbit hole, right? Let's see if we can add a little bit of these details around to, oh yeah, just make it stand out a little bit more. We want a little bit of an edge where the landscape can rest on top of. I think I might actually do it off the timber. I think I like that a little bit more. The other one stands out a little bit too much. The way the timber forms, I think I like that slightly better. So we'll just go along the entire edge like this, because the support beams that get added below are quite good. So I think that is what we want. Yeah, I think that looks nice. Like this one is going to be quite simple, but we are now in possession of the overgrowth tool. So I can add a little bit of this in, which I think is going to be so great. I'm going to love adding all the greenery in. We're getting to the stage where we can finally start growing crops as well. So I'm definitely wanting to start adding plants and stuff around. And yeah, bringing lots of Hobbit life to this base. You know, we got some big farmland now as well, so it's about time. But the overgrowth tool definitely really helps a lot as well. That's such a great addition. All right, so this side wall is gonna be relatively simple. Just gonna go straight into the hillside. We are gonna have a window on this one side though, so we'll have to figure out exactly where, but we want to have a little window to enjoy the view, because this is probably going to be the view of the garden for the hunter, where we'll definitely have the tanning rack for the hides, and who knows what else. Well, at some point I'll have to start doing a bunch of the garden landscaping around and adding details on the road. We'll slowly start it. I kind of like the process that this base will evolve over time, but yeah, let's focus on this wall. I guess we kind of just do the same thing. We now have the window. We're kind of going to go build around it and then round out these walls, especially on the front. We don't really need to round it out on the back because that's going to be covered by the hill anyway. So I feel like that's the shape we want. That's like the corner of the build. Again, some of this is going to be covered by landscaping anyway, so we don't need to focus about it too much. But most importantly, it needs to look nice from the inside, because from the inside I don't think we want any of the natural elements to come in, because it's still a nice comfy Hobbit hole closed off from the elements. There we go. We'll change this shape slightly. Feels like it makes sense to kind of have these start the same way, and then we'll just bring this across all the way to the end here, and then maybe add a little bit of a rounded shape above the window, and then we kind of just need to have a decent height, I suppose. We don't really need too much clearance, I think. As long as we have enough space to walk inside and it's not too low. I guess that's all what really matters for the inside. There we go. I guess, do we need to... No, we don't actually need this to be rounded, right? Because this is just going to be covered with landscape. So better to just keep that going straight. And then it's time to add in some walls there at the back. Can I do this quickly? I feel like if I just add the big walls in, and I just take out the top layer, that's probably the quickest. Maybe I'll place these. And then, yeah, the top layers we'll just have to remove, but this will be a lot quicker than placing this block by block. Because I don't think I can get it any lower than this, so we'll just snap these walls in at the back. Kind of covering all of that. There we go. And then we can start clearing the last two. Alright, now the last wall, and this is actually going to be quite simple because we're not going to have a window here. We might add a fireplace here at the end, but for now we just kind of need the wall to close off this shape, add in the roof of the building, and then all we'll do is add landscaping around it to kind of shape the Hobbit hole or the hill itself. So this one is just going to be filling in this wall, going from the front to the side. We don't really need to round it off, except maybe at the front slightly, but that's kind of it. So this is going to be quite easy. And I think I'll wait with the fireplace until after we've done the landscaping, because that's usually the easiest way to do it. Just kind of you build the hole, you start making the hill, and then you just start making the fireplace and make a little hole in the roof, and you'll find out where your chimney is going to go. At least in my experience and my preference, that's the easiest way to do it. So that's what we're going to go for. So we'll fill all of these in. There we go. That seems like a decent space in here. I think we do want to add in a little bit of support and details on the inside. So we're going to kind of just follow the edge just as we did on the outside. We're going to do the same thing here on the inside to kind of create some details. And probably some beams in the corner to kind of round out the shapes a little bit more. You know, get those rounded Hobbit curves in here. And we'll have another pillar here at the back. There we go. Same thing over here. And then we'll just kind of follow that edge with our beams, because that's going to hopefully create some cozy feels. Maybe add some of those to slightly round out the corners. I feel like that could be a good move. And then we'll have, of course, a beam going across this top too. We'll add these ones in the corners, and then maybe we'll have some pillars and beams next to the entrance. I don't think we'll make separate rooms, because I feel like this place is a little bit too small to do that. So instead we'll kind of just make a little bit of these supporting beams, but not too much of it. Should we have them on the back as well? That might be nice to kind of bring the place together. Have some kind of dividers going on for the room, which might be nice as well. And I guess we can add in those little curves to those spots too. Yeah, that feels all right. Yeah. That's going to be cozy. And then I guess what we need to do is add in the ceiling so that we, we'll not get any dirt in, hopefully. So we'll just lay this on top like this. So it's going to line up with the same height on the front, but I don't think I want to make it any higher than it is, because I kind of want to not go too much higher than the existing hill behind me. And we're already kind of at the same layer. So I feel like we can get away with this, and yeah, it's not going to be too weird, I think. So we'll add in these, and there we go. Let's see what it looks like on the inside. Did we miss anything? Can I please close my door? No? Okay, apparently This door, oh, there we go. This door does not want to work with me. Okay, so only one little ledge. That's probably easier to fix from the outside. Right, well, not too bad. So we'll just fill in that little ledge because it's just a little bit easier if before we start doing the landscape, this is completely closed off, because in my experience that means we get the least amount of landscaping pouring through the walls and having to clear them out again. Better take out these plants, I suppose, because they're going to be too low if we add the landscape around it. So yeah, I think that means time to add some dirt. All right, so now the fireplace, now that we've done the whole hill, we're going to go for a quite simple design. We're still quite in a primitive stage, at least in my playthrough, so we're just going to go for a very basic one that should look pretty nice, and we'll add in an actual fireplace in the middle here, and that will look quite nice. And this one is going to be made out of flintstone. Really like those textures, and yeah, I think that will be a nice fit for this build. So yeah, we're kind of just going to build a hole in the roof here so that we know where the chimney needs to lead. I think I'm already seeing air, so I probably will be able to find that from the top. So now we just kind of add in the flintstone here so that from the inside at least it looks like it's going to be like a nice fireplace. I like the way the flintstone interacts with the other textures. And then all we need to do is just find the gap here on the roof and start adding in a little chimney design. And then for the best experience, of course, in the middle of the chimney here on the outside, we want to place like something like a standing torch or anything with like a flame so that we get a little puff of smoke visible from the end at times, which just helps with the, you know, the feeling. Don't know what the best item for that is. I've only, well, pretty early game, so I've only really tried the standing torch, but I'm sure there's probably things that have like a little bit better smoke coming off. But yeah, we want this chimney to be a 3x3 on the outside because that means that we have the middle to place something in. And I think we'll keep this relatively simple. We might try a little bit, but I don't want to make it any wider. So if we want to add like a lip around it, which would look really nice, but it's going to be so big if we do that all the way around. So I don't know if we should. Probably this could be a little bit higher though. Just maybe one more. Again, it's a little boring at the end, but if we had this, look at how big that would get. That's way too big. For a little hobbit hole, that's taking up way too much size. I think this is probably fine. And yeah, I mean, I think yeah, it's still pretty visible. Yeah, that's good enough. And there we go. That is how I built this little hobbit hall. Obviously, I added some extra decorations around. But yeah, that is, of course, very dependent on the locations. You should be able to build this hobbit hall anywhere as long as you kind of make a hill around it. You can get away with anything. Or if you just find a little hill that you can build it against, as I did, you should get pretty far as well. So it's a really fun way, I feel like, to build. And especially early on when you do not have everything unlocked and you maybe don't want to build too big yet because you might get better materials soon. I think this style really suits that life very, very well. As well as, I mean, the landscaping in this game is so awesome, and I feel like this is one of the building styles that takes full advantage of that. So, yeah, there we go. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you soon for more Enshrouded adventures or other build adventures. Goodbye.